as the Wikipedia resident of the British Museum. What that means is I was a volunteer there for 1 month trying to facilitate a relationship between the two organisations, the Wikipedia community as representative of the open web and the British Museum as representative of professional curatorial standards and the way that the GLAM sector, as we call it, the galleries, libraries, archives and museums, can collaborate together. So what can be done was the question. In short, I spent 5 weeks there, I budgeted nothing. We ran 6 projects. We had 50 Wikipedia, English Wikipedia main page appearances. So the British Museum content appeared on the... So these are the 5 projects that we ran. One was the Backstage pass, that is Wikipedians come on site and meet with the curators. From that, these 2 projects appeared, which we then ran with. One of them was the one-on-one collaboration, so we ran effectively a personal service, like in the newspaper, Wikipedians seeking curators, curators seeking Wikipedians. And on the other side, we had photos requested. This just appeared, Wikipedians saying, can we have some pictures of these objects to represent articles about the subject areas or articles about a particular object itself? The British Museum also ran, as part of this, the Feature Article Prize. That is, within Wikipedia we have quality ratings, and feature articles, the top quality, that's what appears on the front page. So they said, okay, we will give a £100 voucher in the shop, in the museum shop, to the first 5 people who can write feature quality content about anything to do with our museum. We'll provide editorial support or curatorial assistance if required, but it's up to you to determine what the articles are and your own determination of quality. And so we also ran the Hoxne challenge. This was, okay, let's pick a random subject where all the information is in-house. So this is a Roman hoard of gold and silver that was discovered in the 80s or the early 90s. Let's bring it, and that's all in the British Museum. All the experts in the British Museum, everything is here, all the documentation. Let's bring some Wikipedians in-house and spend a day just working on this, focusing on this. What can we produce in a short amount of time? And finally, we ran the school translation project, which was a French high school was coming to London for their end of semester trip. And so we said, okay, what are the most important articles about the British Museum that are not in the French Wikipedia already? We took the first couple of paragraphs from those articles, gave them to the school kids on the way over on the bus, and as part of their English classes, they were translating the English edition into the French Wikipedia, so we could then upload it to the French edition. To take away from that is the huge correlation between quality on Wikipedia and visitation to the British Museum website. They are all about improving the content, not about marketing or branding. They're all about focusing on the personal relationships, not about content donation projects necessarily. They're about leveraging the existing communities of experts, of locals, of international school children, whatever. They're about focusing, they're not about focusing on the residents' work. I didn't actually write any of the content. I could have, but that wouldn't have leveraged the number of people who could potentially be involved. And different people took different interests and wanted different things, and that's fine. And finally, every institution can do something like this at home. If you have a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Copyright is an easy nail to bang in, but it's not actually the issue. The issue is control. Who has it? Who wants it? What are the risks and rewards of sharing it? The 2 main concerns that are raised about risks and rewards are derivative works and commercial reuse. And these are the 2 main ways and restrictions that are available in the Creative Commons licenses. The Wikipedia is called the free encyclopedia, not lightly, and not merely because we don't charge to use it, to read it or require a login. It is free because it meets 4 fundamental freedoms, principles of freedoms, that are the freedom to use, the freedom to study and apply knowledge from that study, the freedom to make and redistribute copies, and the freedom to make changes in derivative works. Do you have a volunteer program in your culture institution? That means you. You do already, you just don't know it. Wikipedians and many other organisations out there are already engaging in your content without your knowledge or without your permission. And it's a matter of whether you want to engage with them back. You don't have to, and it might be messy, but they're certainly there. There's a great phrase, people who like sausages or the law should not see either being made. The same is true for encyclopedias or indeed any knowledge. It's a messy process. Finally, I'll briefly talk about linked data. With apologies to Tolstoy, every happy dataset is alike, every unhappy dataset is unhappy after its own fashion. We all know what nice datasets look like. They play well with others. Datasets that don't interact with others or are using their own proprietary metadata format might be pretty, but are of limited utility because they cannot be engaged with externally for technical reasons, let alone legal reasons. In Australia and in England, on farms you have a phrase, leave the gate as you found it. If you drive up to a farm and the gate is closed, drive through it, but close the gate behind you. If you come up to a farm and the gate is open, drive through and leave it open because there's a reason why it's open. So I would argue that cultural institutions should have a similar kind of approach to having a minimalist footprint upon the restrictions. If it comes with restrictions, by all means keep them, or definitely keep them, and make others aware of those restrictions. But if it doesn't come with restrictions, please don't add more.